Hey everybody, Under here. And this week's, Dragon Ball Super episode review is a little bit late. A lot of stuff going on. My second monitor died, had to get that resolved. Was dog sitting all weekend, so I didn't even get to watch the episode until very recently. But yeah, a lot of things happened in this episode. This was a more jam-packed episode than some previous ones. So, let's just start at the beginning with, sorry, lots of us. I'm a little frazzled right now. I've been rushed to a lot of things this week, got pushed back. Anyway, yes, many of the characters in shock over the nullification of an entire universe. So, last episode, Universe 9 goes kablooey. I guess they really go kablooey. They just faded out of existence. And, it's kind of unsettling. It's pretty unsettling. I mean, basically, most of the cast was given a chance to react to it. Piccolo acted all tough, though, then again, Piccolo is pretty tough. Krillin openly admits that he was a little frazzled by the whole thing. As does Roshi and Tenshinhan and Gohan, pretty much everybody, except for, Android 17. I'll get back to that here in a minute. But the first thing I just want to point out, it's something I hate about almost every, especially shonen anime. I've never been a big fan of how the main character gets bailed out of their responsibilities. Like, Goku's reckless behavior just conveniently turned into Goku saving a doomed universe. It just gives them hope. And I get that. It turned out to be great. Goku did something really good. But his intentions were to risk everybody's life in every universe just to fight strong guys. That is not something that can just be overlooked. I mean, maybe he has a problem. In fact, I'm pretty sure Goku has a problem. And maybe he needs help. But the simple fact is you can't hail him a hero because he just coincidentally happened to save somebody in his attempt to get everybody killed. It is just the dumbest thing. So, yeah, I'm just going to back off that now. I hate when that happens, especially with main characters. But anyway, I seem to recall Reese also confirming what erasure really means. It means it's becoming nothing. So I'm still not sure the Super Dragon Balls can even bring back people from being erased, maybe turning back time, but that doesn't really undo the tournament. So, but then again, maybe the Super Dragon Balls are beyond even that of erasure. So who knows? Another thing I found very interesting was Vados teasing Champa. Initially, it felt really callous, but after going back and watching her expression and what Champa's focus was on when she started to mess with him, it now appears as though she was doing it for his own good. Champa is in best spirits when he's raging against someone, usually his brother or, Vados. Teasing Champa distracted him from the reality of an entire universe being blown up. Well, not blown up, but you know what I mean. And then she reminds him that his best chance of survival is to make sure his warriors win the tournament, putting him back into a proper mindset. I honestly feel like, we're being convinced that the angels are bad, that they're doing some nefarious stuff, but I really haven't seen anything that is too out of the ordinary within their own behavior, right? I mean, not saying it's not impossible, but we're just giving really odd moments that are easily explained away. I mean, Mojito, good example. I mean, he was just like, yeah, my universe exploded. Whatever. I mean, we knew it was going to happen, right? It's like he accepted the inevitability that Universe 9 being the weakest would be eliminated and made his peace with it, or he simply just didn't care. It was just a job, and his job just got, he's accepted the fact that his job's over, and he'll have to find something else to do with his time. Don't really know, I'm not reading too much into it right now. I have another video coming up shortly that's going to be more into the angels, but I don't have enough information yet. But basically, I don't think Vados was being particularly mean. I think she was trying to bring Champa back to his normal self. Maybe she actually has faith in what Champa's capable of, even with his quirks, but he needs to be in that mindset. He needs to be himself during this time. So who knows? Okay, there is no way that Frieza is done after this arc. He's now got his sights set on Zeno, his position. I mean, I believe he may see himself in Zeno, and it's kind of unnerving to him. When we first met Frieza, he was pretty unassuming. I mean, alright, we know he's insanely powerful just based off of Krillin's freakout at sensing his power. But honestly, he just looked like a frail alien in a flying lazy boy. I'm actually getting excited now to see where Frieza goes from here in this arc and beyond. He's gone from being the one arc villain of Z and has now become a proper member of the cast in Super. And I could not be more excited. I know a lot of people were like, bringing Frieza back again? What? But every time they brought Frieza back before, it just felt like they were just using Frieza for a single plot point. And he is so much more than a single plot point. The character is incredibly unnerving, incredibly horrifying, and he's got one of just the best developed villain characters in the show. I mean, they bring him back to show off how powerful Trunks is. I get that. That was actually kind of cool. I'm okay with that, because I kind of just consider him more of an extension of the original Frieza arc, right? Not so much bringing him back. I mean, he came back like the next episode, or the next manga. So it's kind of, I mean, it's really cool and everything, but then they bring him back for Katsu no F, and that is what made Dragon Ball Super happen. I mean, if they weren't confident with that movie going forward, we never would have gotten Dragon Ball Super as a series. So, yeah, I mean, I'm 100% all in on Frieza becoming a, like, regular character, whether he's a villain or whatever. I mean, I just want his presence to remain in the show. Now on to another villain, another former villain, 17. He just got a ton of character development without developing his character at all. It was very well executed here during a time where they could have just been wasting time with a reaction shot like, a universe just gone away. I mean, no, they could have done that, but they added more to it. We see that his personality really hasn't changed a bit from the Android arc. He works in absolutes, he doesn't let what others deem to be normal sway his actions, so in a sense he hasn't developed in the slightest. Except that despite the confirmation of this, he notices that 18 has in fact changed and has become a kinder person, to which he is glad. While he hasn't changed at all, he's grown up enough to know that others will likely need to, and he shouldn't hold them back. And he then lets 18 know that he's happy that she's developed in this way. And it not only is that just like, hey, you know what, we're not the same, you might feel like you're coming back to me and I haven't changed and you have and I should be disappointed or something. Not only is he basically saying that's complete nonsense, but he's affirming her life choices. He's cool with Krillin. He's cool with, the family she's created, because that is what made her into the kind of person she is now. So that is a really, really, really great character interaction. And I'm very happy they did it the way they did. Now, can we just talk about for a second here how the universe that's supposed to be filled with big, tough guys end up sacrificing power for the gimmick of flight? I mean, look, it's not a horrible idea. Subvert the rule against flying with the Bokujutsu by having a few characters that can actually fly around naturally. But they clearly sacrificed a ton of power for this advantage. And they've all already been eliminated, right? The first two people from that universe get eliminated are the Flyers. Now, I get it. It was a really cool idea. Hey, we can't fly, but that doesn't mean we can't use wings. But, I mean, you were taken out by Roshi. We don't know how strong Roshi really is right now, but I'm going to go into the camp that he is still the weakest on Team 7. There is no way a character that peaked in Dragon Ball never got stronger ever in the series until this tournament started. One of the oldest characters in the series, both chronologically and literally old, and he gets defeated by Goku and Tenshinhan, who have both surpassed them in Dragon Ball. And since then, those two characters have continued to train, wherein it's pretty well assumed that Yamcha, and actually we know for a fact due to power levels, that Yamcha, Chiaotzu, Yajirobe, and Yamcha, did I say Yamcha? It doesn't matter. Every Z warrior has surpassed Roshi. Okay? He doesn't train all through Z, and now suddenly in Super he's super powerful? I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. The simple fact is, Roshi took them out, or took out the most recent flyer. So they clearly sacrificed a ton of power just to have a flyer in there. And these flyers were the most aggressive. I mean, what the heck? Why are your most aggressive characters the weakest ones? Were they that confident with flight? I don't know. I mean, you get your trump cards eliminated immediately. It's so dumb. Well, I say that. But there's a lot of other trumpier trump cards in the tournament right now, including two characters we've yet to see. And we only know they exist because Tenshinhan's like, no, they're there. Don't worry about it. I mean, they have not followed up on that at all. Whew, enough about that. I mean, look, I like Gowasu. I don't want to see him die, but you know what? We know his universe is not going to be the surviving universe, so whatever. I mean, who cares? Anyway, I'm not super hyped about the Magetta fight with Vegeta. The only reason he even had a chance against Vegeta the first time around was due to the rules of the previous tournament. Remember how it was like an enclosed area with like a weird barrier, and he was able to like increase the heat to the point where Vegeta couldn't even like his brain was frying? I mean, Vegeta is absolutely in no danger here. I mean, think of how much training Vegeta has gotten since their fight. Even if Magetta got stronger too, did he have to fight against Goku Black? I mean, remember that Vegeta went from being a non-factor against Goku Black to absolutely just completely dominating him. Just walking up to him like, whatever, dude, you're like a child to me. No, there's no way Vegeta's in any risk here. I don't know. It just seems to be a bit of filler just to have some actual fighting going on without, spoiling the Goku build-up. So, yeah, I don't know. 18 and Krillin's fight against Shosa was pretty interesting. The technique they use, that like weird handball technique, seemed pretty efficient. I mean, think about it. Keeping Shosa on the defense with a volley of energy blast while simultaneously charging up a more powerful attack, this seems to cover a problem seen time and time again in Dragon Ball. Whether it's Piccolo charging up the Mankanko Sappo while Goku distracts him, or any time Goku ever needed to charge up the Genki Dama, charging up a killer attack while keeping the enemy off your back has been a very obnoxious task in the past. This technique would serve a character well if they could just learn to, have the energy blast return to them on their own and volley 2 or 3 at a time. Kind of like, pretty much in a juggling fashion. That's a good way of putting it. I mean, look, if Ten Shinhan can turn volleyball into an attack, I'm pretty sure Krillin can turn this juggling attack. He can juggle his enemies to death. I mean, it seems like it might actually be pretty good. I mean, we've seen Energy Blast being controlled. Yamcha, probably the laziest fighter in the series, managed to train himself to be able to do it. Krillin already has just look at the, I was going to actually mention his scatter shot, but we just saw the triple Kienzan in this episode, and we know he can control Kienzans. So the triple Kienzan is a good example of this. Instead of Kienzans do energy balls, have them come back and forth the way, because Frieza controlled it, and I'm pretty sure we definitely seen Krillin control it before, right? I just don't remember a specific time. But controlling the Kienzan, let's do energy blasts. Every time it comes back, bounce it back like, with the Genki Dama back, like way back in the Saiyan Saga. Just keep bouncing them back like that. I mean, dude, keep adding power. It'd be a good technique. I like it. I really like the technique. Doesn't seem to be very effective for 18, considering, even though they're being very efficient with their power, not wasting volley, just, it's basically they're only firing one attack. And they're only firing it, at the point where it's big enough to kill the guy. So it's a very efficient attack in terms of energy. But the androids don't need to worry about, wasting energy like that. So yeah, I mean, that fight was kind of cool. Really cool new technique. I loved it. What was next? Oh, the Majora fight. Yeah, I'm actually very happy with this fight as well. Now look, I am tired, like sick and tired, of Krillin using the Taioken as his signature move. I mean, the moment he adopted the technique from Ten Shinhan was the moment he stopped becoming stronger. He always had an out, so he could always run away from a fight, and since he never really actually had a real fight against any villain in the series, now I'm not talking about times where he's like, look, I'll take you on, Raditz, and then he's kicked through a wall, or I'll protect you, 18, and then he gets tail slapped into a wall, or any other time he gets slapped into a wall before he can even throw a punch. I mean, you could argue he fought against Nappa, but he only got a sneak attack in when, Nappa wasn't paying attention. When he was going for a kill shot on Gohan. So that was a sneak attack. And he also got in the, remember, they couldn't sense energy either, so there was a true sneak attack. Or when he was fighting with Piccolo's backup. I mean, I'm not even sure if he even had a real fight. You know what? No, he hasn't had a real fight since the Cybermen. It's just, I don't understand why he does it. It's been a crutch for him as a character, and it isn't even his own technique. Now we get into a tournament wherein the universe will get destroyed upon losing, and we bring Krillin along. I love Krillin. I want him to get power scaled with Ten Shinhan and Roshi, and maybe the androids, because they're already kind of strong, but sure, make them stronger. And we saw all that happen, except for maybe Ten Shinhan, because they haven't told us jack squat about him yet. But it's okay because he's got an amplified Taioken. Yes, let's bring him along. I mean, seriously? I mean, let's be honest here. I don't think it's anything impressive. In fact, Roshi's sunglasses apparently are still enough to have the Taioken not even affect you. So I don't even understand it. I would be shocked if Goku and Ten Shinhan hadn't already known they could amplify the Taioken. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult. This is a technique that hasn't gone up in severity since it was originally introduced by Ten Shinhan in Dragon Ball. It's been used over and over again at the same effectiveness. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, sure, just now we realize we can make it a little bit more powerful where you can close your eyes and it still won't affect. I mean, it'll still get you if your eyes are shut, but Roshi's sunglasses are enough to completely nullify it. I don't buy it. It wasn't like that huge of an amazing new technique. And the first person he uses it against is a guy who's pretty obviously blind. He's never opened his eyes. I mean, I don't know. It's just that Krillin is the only one who regularly uses this technique anymore, and it's become a huge crutch for him. So, yeah, the fact that it failed is a relief to me. The rest of the Majora fight was very, very Dragon Ball. Enemy has the upper hand, Krillin used ingenuity and a joke. Perfect! I mean, shame it's the first time since the Cybermen that Krillin actually wins a real fight, but he does it in a quirky way, and it's 100% Krillin. Krillin's always used these weird roundabout techniques, whether it's making Master Roshi nosebleed onto the Invisible Man, or realizing he doesn't have a nose, so Bacterion's gimmick isn't going to do anything to him, or just anytime he makes like a perverted thing happen for Roshi to get distracted. I don't know. He uses weird things like that, but he actually does fight in Dragon Ball. And in Dragon Ball Z, he just gets kicked around. He's a bigger joke than Yamcha, because at least Yamcha knows when to back off. So, I'm so glad to see Krillin actually fighting on his own merit. This might actually be the first real fight he's even participated in. Not one, actually properly one-on-one fight he participated in since the Cybermen. I mean, honestly, I can't really think of anything else where he's gone one-on-one with a villain and wasn't immediately just hit away like a fly. So, and again, this is me ranting, but this is another reason why I don't believe Krillin's really that strong. When has he trained? Right? He's trained on his own, yeah, but when has he actually fought somebody? I mean, the entire time he's either not training at all and just looking for a girl, making a family with 18, that's fine. Doing his job as a police officer, I mean, all that's great. It's normal human behavior. But in terms of strength, he doesn't train often. He only trains when he needs to, and he doesn't actually fight anybody. So he doesn't get stronger that way. So I'm really glad to see Krillin getting a proper episode of him developing his strength. I mean, it's huge. Sorry, I just got a hiccup. Oh yeah, and this might be another canon moment where Krillin is shown not actually physically having a nose. It's quite possible. I mean, we know, they already confirmed this in Dragon Ball, but now in Super he has, like, insanely disgusting shoes. I mean, maybe he just doesn't smell it so it doesn't bother him. I don't know. Whew. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and and of course, Krillin being eliminated while celebrating his first victory in years is very fitting. Just Krillin things and all that, right? I mean, that's who he is. That's what happens to him. But all in all, this was a fantastic episode. I really hope that any character that gets eliminated from Universe 7 will get a chance to shine before going out. And the thing I love about Dragon Ball is that we don't get a ton of freaking, like, filler nonsense where we, like, look into the character's past. This is Krillin growing up. I mean, we saw some of that. We saw some Krillin and Goku stuff from Dragon Ball. We occasionally see a flashback, but it's not a whole episode's worth. So I really feel like any moments we get from characters in this tournament will be moments that are happening in real time. We're not going to learn how Roshi promised his old sensei that he wouldn't slack off and become a pervert, and now this is his chance. No. It's going to be Roshi fighting fools and beating them up, or sacrificing himself for his students. I mean, we're going to get actual stuff from Dragon Ball, and this is something I feel like a lot of younger shonen anime viewers might not even understand as a thing, because so many just push so much exposition through through flashbacks and not enough, oh, this is why he's going to win. No, he's going to win because he's going to figure something out right now, just like what Krillin did against an enemy that probably had him straight up beaten. Now, he did fight pretty evenly with Majora, but the simple fact is he beat him through ingenuity and a really funny technique and the classic Kamehameha wiping him out. It's a shame Frost comes in and tail whips him. Though, admittedly, I'm pretty sure Krillin's gotten used to being slapped by a tail by now. How many times have you been slapped by a tail, by the way? I mean, like, every villain who has a tail slapped him with the tail, right? I'm pretty sure. That might just be a thing. And I really hope this is not a bookend for Krillin. Like, a final huzzah before he's swept under the rug for good. Instead, this could be a renaissance for the character, which will bring him back into the fold more often. Only time will tell, but I really hope Krillin gets more chances to shine in the future. And boy, this has been a 20-minute review of a 23-minute episode. I don't know if this is normal, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode. I mean, they really did timing well. I mean, yeah, sure, they didn't have to waste so much time in the beginning talking about the nullification of the entire Universe 9, but they use that as a great opportunity to talk about, to develop Android 17, show where everybody's mindset's at, and show that Krillin, unlike before, he's okay with admitting when he's scared. Right? I mean, yeah, we see that a lot in Dragon Ball Z and stuff, but that was when he was terrified. This is where he's like, no, Piccolo, you're right, I am rattled, but... And then he goes all in and saves 18 from being eliminated by a dirty trick. And I'm glad he was able to save 18 in a believable way. I mean, 18 kind of just got caught off guard. 18 should not have been in that situation. It wasn't a testament to her strength. It was a testament to her arrogance. And that quickly got resolved, and she's not going to fall for it again. And Krillin, even though he got eliminated in a stupid way, he helped take out one, helped take out a second, and then took out a third on his own. Essentially on his own. And he saved one of the stronger members of Universe 7 from being eliminated. So so the moment he saved her, he traded up. So even if the Supreme Kai and Beerus aren't particularly thrilled, he did more than anybody expected him to do. Let's be honest here. I mean, he was considered to be fodder going into this. Beerus just told him to run away and don't get eliminated. Just be an extra man in the field. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And I will see you with a much earlier review, I hope, of episode 100. That's right, episode 100 of Dragon Ball Super is next, and I can't wait for it. Guys, I'll catch you all later.